Okay, and now I know you see that we have a finished garment, but it actually is not finished because the straps is too short. So I need to undo the 3 needle bind offs that I did here and add a little bit more length to these straps. Good day everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mariette, also known as the Boervrou, and this is episode 20 of the Crafty Stitches Podcast. Today is September, the 18th of September 2022, and I'm coming to you from South Africa. It is a Sunday and it's actually in the afternoon, but never mind, I'm here recording the podcast and I've got some coffee and I hope that you have some coffee or something to drink as well while we have a little visit and have a little check-in on my projects. Right, today I don't have any finished objects except for half a finished object, but I'm just going to let that stand over to the web section. Let me share with you what I'm wearing. This is my summer cotton. This is my summer cotton tee that I knitted as part of Knitty Natty's full garment make-along of last year. It is a self-drafted tee that I did not write the pattern for. I worked it bottom up with raglan, as you can most probably see there, and it's just short sleeves in a double knit cotton yarn, and I made it with a 4mm needles. And yes, it will be linked down below if you are interested in the project gauge and so forth. And we can just go straight into works in progress, and I've got quite a bit of works in progress to share with you. Okay, check my notes. Right, so my first work in progress is, as usual, my lace. If you are a returning viewer, you would know that I am making this lace for my pantry shelves. Just want to quickly show you. I am doing the lace in this yarn from my stash, which is a 100% acrylic yarn, and I'm using a 2.25mm hook for this project, and this is what it looks like. I have already completed 4 pieces of the lace and I am making 6. I just barely started the lace in the previous episode with my little stitch marker there that I use as a progress keeper from Pincushion Crafts. Let me just move that up. Right, and I am a little bit behind on my goals for this lace, but I will talk about that in the crafting goals section. But I did complete a little bit of it during these past 2 weeks. My next whip is the socks that I'm making for my husband for the month of September. And this is where I have the half finished object that I was talking about, which is this sock that has been completed. I was at this point in my previous episode and I finished it and cast it off. This is a stitch marker by Ietsie Klein that I got as a gift from Little Yarn Craft. I'm just going to remove this one so that I can add it to the second sock. Words today. Anyway, so this pair of socks I am making with this opal yarn, which is a 75% virgin wool and 25% polyamide. And yeah, I don't know what to say about it. That is the details of on the ball band. It is 425 meters on 100 grams. And then for the contrast heel, I am using this Regia 4-ply in a light grey. I don't know which one of these yarn labels is actually the light grey, but anyway. So this is also 75% virgin wool and 25% polyamide, and this is 210 meters on 50 grams, so that is 420, so it's just 5 meters less than the opal yarn. But anyway, so that is my first sock completed of the pair, and the second sock is again ready to receive its heel. I'm actually quite impressed that I got these colors to line up, not completely, but somewhat, without really paying much attention to it. I just took the end of the ball and started knitting. So anyway, it won't match perfectly because I can see that that had a little bit less of the brown before I started the heel, and this one the brown is finished, so I don't really mind. But yes, it's almost matching. Not that it bothers me at all. Anyway, so let me just add this progress keeper stitch marker. There we go. So that is the second sock of the pair. These are going great. This is my own pattern that I do my toe up socks with. Yes, that is it for the second book. Right, I am knitting the socks on 2.25mm needles, 9-inch circulars, and I am making the socks as well as part of the Sock It To Me Challenge 2022 by Linda Simpson and Kim from Kim's Crochet and Knits on YouTube. So I will be posting that with that hashtag, where it is a challenge to make a pair of socks every month for the year of 2022. I just joined mid-year, and so far it's going great. Okay, what else is there? The third whip I am once again not showing because I have not touched it, which is the hat for my husband, because I don't have needles free yet. So we will just skip that one and go straight to my tip top tank. So this is the tip top tank by Maker Designs, and I am knitting this in South African hand-dyed yarn, which is Moya 100% double knit cotton. It is 135 meters on 50 grams, and I'm using a few different colors. The let's say, main color here is burnt fudge. This purple is African mauve, the green is apple, and the pink is bubblegum. I think that's right. Okay, and now I know you see that we have a finished garment, but it actually is not finished because the straps is too short. So I need to undo the 3 needle bind offs that I did here and add a little bit more length to these straps. Okay, so in my previous episode I was at this point where I have the stitch marker of Ietsie Klein that I use as a progress keeper. Let me just move it up to one of the straps where I'm going to undo the bind off and continue knitting. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to show you, I did some A-line shaping for this garment, which is not in the pattern, which is a free pattern, by the way. So I did some A-line shaping, as you'll be able to tell there. And then, what else did I want to say about it? Oh, I've been using my jogless stripe method for this top. And I have been knitting over all of my ends, as you'll be able to see in the inside there. And after I finish this garment, I will just wash and block it first and then trim the ends. Okay, so I think that is everything I wanted to say. I think this is going to be a very nice garment to wear. I'm not sure if I'm such a very big fan of the V-neck at the back, but I decided to leave it like that and to finish it and see how I like it when I start wearing it, and we shall see if it stays or if I change it. But I really like the fit of it, as I have had it on, as I said, but this is just a little bit too small and I need a little bit more length. I think that was everything that I wanted to say about it. I'm really loving this knit. Can't wait to wear it. I'm very excited about this one. And I think the colors came out great. So that is my 4th whip. I am knitting this on with 4.5mm needles. Even though it is not the suggested needle size for the pattern, and obviously I'm not using the exact same yarn, but I made a gauge swatch and I was off with 1 stitch and I started the top and it didn't work out as it should have, and I restarted it and then it worked out fine. So anyway, that is the tip top tank, and I think that is about everything that I can say about that one. Alrighty, my next whip is my waving lace top by Hohi Locatelli. Let me see. I didn't knit a ton on it during this past 2 weeks, but I did do a little bit, as you can see there. Another stitch marker by Ietsie Klein. Let me just move that up. Alright, so this project I am knitting on 3.5mm needles. I'm not sure what the suggested needle size is in the pattern. It is a paid for pattern, but I believe it's 3.25mm needles, which I don't own at this stage. So I just cast on with I did a gauge swatch, of course, and I was again 1 stitch off, I think. What does my note say? Don't have it in the notes. I think I was 1 stitch off again, but never mind. So I've knitted on this, and I fitted it, and it seems that it is fitting correctly. It might be a smidge big, but not so much that I think it will be problematic. But I am contemplating on doing A-line shaping for this project as well, even though it is not suggested in the pattern, by just decreasing to 1 size smaller over the length of the body up to under the bust. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I haven't decided exactly yet. I had a lot of other knitting things behind the scenes that took up my time, so I didn't really have that much time to knit on this project. But I am definitely focusing on this a little bit more after I finish the tip top tank, so that I can see if I do the A-line shaping, if that is going to work out, and if I need to rip back and maybe redo it if it doesn't look right. But anyway, so that is the tip top tanks, the waving lace top so far. And this project is a project that I cast on for the Hohi Fall knit along. What is the hashtag? Hohi Fall Cal 2022. So yes, that is the little bit of progress that I did on that project. And I know it's not much, but sometimes life happens and you just don't have that lot of knitting time. Anyway, I forgot to mention the yarn. The yarn that I'm using for the project is 100% cotton. It is this L cotton in the colorway lilac, and it is a 4-ply, so it's more or less a fingering weight. It is 156 meters on 50 grams. So yes, that is what I'm using for the project, and I think the project is also designed in a cotton yarn, which is discontinued. But anyway, so that is that for those projects. Let me see what else is there. Okay, now, all right, the next project is the baby cardigan out of my Whippin that I wanted to finish for the month of September, and it's not finished. But you shall see why. Anyway, so this is one of the projects that I decided to finish when I unpacked and sorted out my Whippin earlier this year, and it only needs a sleeve. But now there's one problem when you start the project like 10 years previous. Like this one, I'm not sure when I started it. It might be 10 or more years that it has been lying in my craft room and not getting finished. So what happens is that your gauge changes with time, and mine has changed a lot. So on the pattern that was in the bag with this project, I made some notes that said that I used a 2.5 millimeter hook for this project. So I took a 2.5 millimeter hook from my other crochet hooks because my Clover set does not have a 2.5. I've only got a 2.25 and a 2.75. And I started crocheting the sleeve. I actually did 4 rounds, and then something said to me, listen, just put this next to the sleeve, and it was like this much broader than the other sleeve. And then I saw that I do have a problem. Anyway, so I dived through the crochet hooks again, and I got this little 2 millimeter crochet hook, which is what I used the type of hooks that I used when I was doing this crochet. And I started crocheting the sleeve again, and still it was about this much too broad. So I decided, okay, when I changed my knitting gauge, I stopped to wrap the yarn around my ring finger. So I actually wrapped the yarn around another finger when I was tensioning the yarn for the crochet, and I was trying to crochet very tightly. And this is the result of my very tightly crocheted sleeve. And as you can see, it is still too big. So yes, I am not completely sure if I need to go down to a 1.5mm hook. Not that I am sure where I will find one, because this is not even in my crochet hook pouch that I used. So I will have to go look through other hooks to try and find a 1.5mm hook. And if that does not work out, well, I've got two options basically. Three options. I've got three options. Option one is to go down another needle size, hook size, to a 1.5 and try to get gauge. If that does not work, I can maybe rip out this sleeve and redo both sleeves so that the sleeves look the same, or I can just give up and rip it out. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. So that is the dilemma. So what we learn from this problem is, don't start a project and leave it for 10 years and then try to finish it. Your gauge might change. You may not remember what you did if you didn't put the pattern in the bag. But most importantly, your gauge may change. And mine has changed a lot, it seems. So yes. You will have to wait until the next episode of the podcast to see if I finished it or if it went into the frog pond, because I'm not sure what I'm going to do. If I can't get gauge and it looks too big, it is going to look a little bit odd, and I'm not sure that I want to redo the whole thing. I have too many other projects to do, so we shall see what happens with this one. To be continued. Okay, let me have a sip of coffee. Alrighty. And then my 7th whip. I have gone a little bit crazy, it seems. And this is just the 7th whip that I'm showing you. There is more. So this is a sewing whip. So my friend Leanie from Independence Crochet on YouTube and Instagram is also walking and knitting. So I've been walking and knitting for quite a while. When we walk the dogs twice a day, I actually take my knitting with me and I knit while we walk the dogs. So the two of us have been talking and thinking about ways to carry this project with us while we walk in a bag, maybe designed just for that. So I started a bag that is going to hang over your arm like this so that you can knit, and the yarn will just come out of here, and if you need to pop it into the bag quickly, you can just throw it in and continue with whatever you need to do. So this bag is just, let me think, I will say 2/3 finished. Anyway, because it's still open at the bottom, I haven't sewn it shut yet. And I had a little bit of a problem because I was using a very old printed tutorial that was on a blog or something, which I printed and put in a file. So when we were talking about this, I knew that I already had something, a pattern and a tutorial to use. So I just went through the file and I found this tutorial. I did the pattern pieces and then decided that I want to change it up, because the original had like a pocket on the outside, and I decided I don't want any pockets because I don't want to be able to stuff too much into the bag, because it is going to hang over my arm and I don't want to drag around a lot of things with me. I usually just take my house keys and that is it, and the yarn and the project. So that is what I decided to do. And then I decided to add a little loop and a ring to the inside where I can clip my house keys onto, and then I know they are safe and secure. When I walk, I won't lose them. So this will have a boxed bottom when I'm finished with it. And I did a shwe material lining, and then I did the denim, and I added some quilting material, a strip of quilting material just for fun. So I think I maybe didn't finish my thought. Anyway, so when I was cutting out the pattern, I decided that I want to add some strips of quilting material to the bag, and I wanted to use some of the denim offcuts that I had in my fabric stash. So what I did is I actually just ironed on some interfacing just to the quilting material pieces to just give them a little bit more structure and strength, and the rest I did not line. I didn't iron on some interfacing. The project bag is lined. But anyway, so when I was working with this tutorial, which I'm by the way not linking because of this problem, I don't know if I understood it wrongly or if it was written incorrectly or what is the problem, but I couldn't get the right side of my bag out. So when you do sewing, if you don't know about sewing, you always put your right sides together and stitch your seams on the wrong side of the fabric, so that when you turn it around, your right sides will be nicely seamed like that, and obviously on the outside. So I couldn't get this bag turned inside out. The handles was inside the bag no matter what I did. So I unpicked it, as you can see there, and I turned it right side out, and then I sewed the outside with my sewing machine, and then this I will just stitch closed by hand, because in the meantime I found out what I did wrong, but I was not prepared to undo 4 seams on the sides just to fix that. I decided I would rather stitch this closed by hand. I think that'll be easier. Alright, so that is my bag. That is now almost finished, and I'm very excited about this project because I just sewed up a sample, just like a lining piece, and I used that to walk and knit, and the size is very good. I really like the size of it, and it's not heavy, and it doesn't get in my way when I walk. So I'm very excited about this. I cannot wait to get it finished, and I'm actually frustrated with myself a little bit that it's taking so long, because I'm used to, when sewing, actually just go sit down at the machine and sew the whole project from start to finish. And in this past 2 weeks that could not happen because there's just too much things to do. So this sewing project is being done like knitting, basically. Like knitting a cardigan or something. You just sew 2 seams and switch off the machine and go run and do something else and come back and switch on the machine and just sew 2 seams. But anyway, we're getting there. So I'm very excited about this. I cannot wait to have it finished. And hopefully this week I will maybe get to that. So yes, that is my 7th whip. My one and only sewing whip for the moment. So very exciting. Hopefully in the next episode I can show you the finished bag and maybe a little clip of me walking and knitting and how I use it. We shall see. Alrighty. What else? I think that is about it. So if this bag is a success, which I'm sure it will be, I have figured out how to sew the thing together to not have the problem of not being able to get the straps out of the bag. So I've already started another one, but I will not be showing it here on the podcast because it is going to be a gift and you're not supposed to know what it looks like yet. Anyway, right, so next up on my list of things to discuss in the podcast is my crafting goals. So let's move over to that. Alrighty, so for my crafting goals this month, I am doing my lace for the month, which was also a project out of the whip bin. I was planning on doing 26 repeats every week for September, starting from the 4th of September, where I usually use the date start of the week day as a Sunday. And I have only done 1 repeat of the lace for this 2 weeks that's passed. So I have actually worked out a new amount of repeats that I need to do to be able to finish the project by the end of the month. So what I am going to do is I'm counted the amount of days left for the month, including today, and if I do 6 repeats every day, and on the last day of the month 5 repeats, I will have the piece finished by the end of the month. So I'm going to set that goal for myself and try and do 6 repeats every morning of every day for the next few days of what we have left for September to finish the piece of lace, because I really want it finished, because I know that I would love to have it finished by the end of the year, and I've only got the 2 pieces to go. So that is where we stand with the lace for this moment. Okay, so the socks that I'm making, my goal for those are doing half a sock per week. And as you just saw, I am a little bit ahead with that plan, because I finished the first sock, which was half the sock for the first week and the second half for the second week, and I've already finished the first half of the second sock as well. So I think that goal is going to be reached very soon. Okay, and then the baby cardigan, the baby jacket, I encountered this problem of gauge, so I will have to see what I'm going to do about that and hopefully finish it most probably by the next episode. So we shall see about that. My other goal that I had was that I would like to finish the hat for my husband, which hasn't happened because my needles is still occupied by the tip top tank. Even though they are not in it at the moment, I'm going to need it to fix the tank top, and after that I will start on the hat, even if it's just little bits and bobs during the month or whatever. I will definitely go back to that. I don't really have any other goals of things that I would love to finish. That is part of my crafting goals for the month, so I think that is basically all. I did not achieve the goal for the lace, but I'm going to work on that during the rest of the month. My socks is a little bit ahead and a little bit further along as I have hoped, so that helps a little bit. And then I still need to give some attention to the jacket if I can figure out how to get the gauge right. And that is all for the crafting goals section. I will inform you in the next episode how this went. Alrighty. So, for news this episode, my video last week was a short tutorial, another short tutorial, and this time of how I do Judy's magic cast on. I will link it down below for you if you have missed that one and if you would like to see that. I am doing a few tutorials because of Socktober coming up, so that there is a little bit of tutorials on the channel to help you out with certain techniques if you need that. So that is part of that. Then the next thing that is coming up is this month's Scrappy Sunday chat, which is hosted by myself and Leanie from Independence Crochet. So this month we will have it live again on the 25th of September. I think it's going to be a little bit later than usual, and we have a guest for this episode as well, which is Sita from the Shawl Knitter Unplugged on YouTube, and we are very excited to have her as a guest. I will definitely keep you informed on social media about the exact time, and as usual I will also add a countdown timer to my Instagram stories so that you can click on that and be notified when that is coming up. Okay, what else is there? This month's Crafty Stitches Craft Night will be on the 23rd of September, which is this Friday, because this podcast will go up on Wednesday. So on Friday evening at 7 o'clock we will have the Crafty Stitches Craft Night. You are more than welcome to send me a direct message on Instagram and I will share the Zoom details with you there. Okay. Then in my previous episode I mentioned that I was going to a class, a workshop on Tunisian short rows, which was presented by Sonja van Dijk, who is Designs by Sophia on Instagram. And it was hosted at Little Yarncroft, where Naughty Habit also had a pop-up shop, and it was a wonderful workshop. I really enjoyed it a lot. I am not making the beanie. As I said in the previous episode, I'm not sure I'm going to make the beanie. I started the beanie in class and I worked all the short rows and so forth, but I'm not finishing the beanie. In actual fact, I've already ripped it out. But anyway, I am working on another Tunisian crochet short row project, but I have not asked the permission of the designer to actually show it in the podcast. That is why you haven't seen it yet, but I will do that and maybe show that next time if I get the permission to share it with you. So I am doing something with short rows at the moment, but not the beanie. But I really enjoyed the class and it was so much fun. I'm so excited that I am now able to do short rows, because if I can figure it out, I can add short rows to the back of my sweaters in future if I make Tunisian crochet sweaters or tees, which I'm very excited about. Anyway, all right, what else is there? While I was at Little Yarn Craft, I actually picked up things that I've ordered previously, which was this knitting barber cords. Obviously I got some purple ones. Is it just me, or do they really stink? I don't know. To me, they stink a lot. But anyway, they work wonderfully. I have used them quite a few times already since I got them. I used them to fit the waving lace tee, and I've used it to keep all my stitches together on my tip top tank while I was finishing up all the panels so that I can do the 3 needle bind off. And they're going to work again for that when I unravel the 3 needle bind off to lengthen the straps. So that works very, very well. I'm very pleased with this product that I got. And then I actually got my first pair of sock blockers, which I bought from Lauren at Little Yarn Craft. Now, if you do have blockers from Lauren that you got from Little Yarn Craft, you will be able to see that these don't really look exactly the same, because I asked my husband to paint them, which he of course did for me, so I'm very happy about that. So this is the medium size for my socks, and I'm so pleased with the end result that I actually ordered the large blockers as well. So when I go to see Lauren again, I will get the large ones and get them painted. They work very, very well. I'm very, very excited about that. Okay, let me see. What else do I have for news? My Socktober plans are going very well. I will be releasing 2 patterns for the month of October, and I will reveal what that looks like, and I will make a video about plans and what's going to happen and so forth, and I will put that onto YouTube and share it with you all. Okay, then the other thing that I wanted to say is I don't really always show so many acquisitions in my podcast, but I just wanted to show you these gifts that I got and that I'm very, very thankful for. So I actually received 2 balls of sock yarn as a gift, and it's opal sock yarns in purple. So I'm so excited about these 2 balls of yarn, which is obviously going to be socks for me. Very excited to be working with those. So there is the little pictures of how it should knit up. I hope you can see that. So yes, I've added 2 more balls of yarn to my stash for my socks that I got as a gift. And then I also got this set of yarn, which is a cotton and bamboo blend. I don't want to take it out of the packet. I hope you can see that well enough, which is beautiful yarns. It is from, I don't know, it's from One of a Kind Yarns, and as I said, it is a cotton and bamboo blend. It's a heavy fingering weight, and it's got 330 meters on 100 grams. I have no idea what I'm going to make with this yet, but we shall get to that very soon, I think. I hope. So I was very excited to receive that gift. Thank you so much. You know who you are. Thank you again. Really, really happy about that. And then I got a parcel from a viewer of the podcast as well. with book gifts. So I'm so excited about this. One of the books I've never seen before, and two of them has been on my mental wish list for quite a while. I just never got around to buying them because I do love a book a lot. Because even if there's no power or no internet and you have the book, you can still use it. So let me show you these books that I got. So the first one is this one from Beatrix Snyman. It is the Afrikaans version of her crochet book, of basically introduction to crochet and notes on stitches and ways to work in the round, and there is quite a few nice projects as well in this book, like this. So cute. I really like it a lot. So that is the first book that I got, which I'm very happy about. I do have Beatrix's Tunisian book, also in Afrikaans. And then this one I had in my hands quite a few times in a bookshop, and every time I thought, no, I'll get that later, let me get this or that or whatever. So now I do have this book. I'm so happy about it. So this is a book from Karen Ondorf. It is, I don't know if this, I think this book might be in English as well. I'll have to check and I'll put it on the screen. But yes, this is crocheting tile motifs with a difference, if I translate it straight to English from the Afrikaans. Alright, so it's got these beautiful motifs with all different stitches and things on them. So yes, that is the second book that I got. And this book I haven't seen before, and I really like it as well, which is this book. And this book has got crochet projects of all sorts, Irish lace and filet lace, and it's even got some Tunisian crochet projects in it as well. Let me see if I can get a picture without the instructions, like that for instance. That's beautiful. I really like that as well. Not to mention this project. Oh my goodness, just look at that. It is beautiful. I would really love to make something like that. Stunning. So yes, thank you so much as well. You also know who you are. Thank you for this beautiful gift. I'm so happy about it. I cannot wait to make more projects, even though you just saw I have a lot. So we have to finish up some projects and start some new ones. Very excited about this beautiful book. Books. Alright, I think that is about everything that I had to say for news. My little vegetable garden is coming on very nicely. My seedlings are coming up. I'm very excited. Cannot wait to plant them and see them grow. Alright, so for podcast recommendations for this episode, I do have two. The first one is Castle Handmade, which is a crochet podcast. This is Liz from Australia. I actually just briefly met her on the Global Hookup Zoom, hosted by Faye from the Crochet Circle podcast. She has a lovely podcast. I actually watched her latest episode, I think number 7, and the first one I actually also watched today. Yes, she's got a yarn shop as well, I think. In the first episode is run from her home, so I'm not sure how that works exactly, but I did hear on the Zoom group that somebody said that she sells yarns and that she's got a podcast, and I actually went and had a look, and I really like the projects that she made, of the few that I saw so far, and they're really, really pretty. And maybe you can go over and have a look, and maybe you would like to follow her and support her there. Alright, the second podcast recommendation that I have for this episode is Bethany from Well Loved Knits. She does a sit-down podcast. I don't think that very often, but she also does a lot of knit and chat videos, and she's expecting her first baby at the moment, and yeah, she's got a wide variety of videos on her channel, and you can go over and have a look at that and see if you like that type of content. I really like to watch her knit and chat videos, see what she's working on, and just have a little visit and a coffee and sit with my project, she with hers, and feels like we sitting around a table and knitting and chatting. Alrighty, and I think that is just all that I have. So I will end the episode here with my normal comment question. And my comment question for this episode is, what is your favorite craft to do? Like anything, it doesn't necessarily have to be knitting or crochet, even if it's card making or woodworking. I don't know, what else is there? There's so many hobbies and crafts out there. I think at the moment my favorite might be knitting, even though in recent years knitting has become a favorite. I think it's because it is so portable as well. I mean, crochet is also portable, but I can't crochet and look. So if we're driving in the car and I'm a passenger, I can knit and look around at my surroundings, but I cannot do that with crochet. But yes, I really love knitting, I think. I do all of the other things as well, obviously. I have too many things on the go most of the time. But I also love gardening, and doing this little bit of a vegetable garden has really made me think about gardening a little bit more, and seeing and realizing why I actually loved it in the first place. I actually gardened quite a lot before, but yes, I think my favorite craft for the moment is knitting. More fiber arts recently, and then sewing, and I liked to paint things. Not that I really painted pictures or anything, just like painting coasters and trays and that type of thing in one color with varnish over it. But I don't really do that a lot anymore. So I would really say knitting is my favorite at the moment, and then crochet, Tunisian crochet, and maybe then sewing. Even though I would like to sew quite a few more things this year for my wardrobe. That'll be nice. Okay, but anyway, so that is all that I have to share with you today. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more of my content. And I will see you in the next one. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.